to go back and watch this just in case they come in a few minutes late. Yeah, so today's class is going to be all about customizing your KW homepage. So the goal here is that, one, you are using your new at Keller Williams or your .kw website. For those of you who are still using Playster or something else, I'd highly discourage you from doing that. We have the opportunity to use one of the best real estate platforms that are out there. And I'm not just being biased by saying that with Command, but it truly is, I would say, the only end-to-end consumer-to-agent website in which it's something that we own from a proprietary standpoint, meaning that your data is not being stolen and shared or sold to other agents. But really, we're in the baby stages of this. I mean, we've just birthed a very, very beautiful website and a platform that will ultimately grow up to be this magnificent work of art, to be quite frankly, in which we're going to have a Netflix and Amazon-like experience, but in real estate with our clients. So I'd highly encourage you, if you haven't already, let's go ahead and start using your @KW or your .kw websites. But the goal here is that there are 180,000 agents who essentially all have the same website. So the goal here is, I'm going to show you today how you can customize this so that you can kind of make it your own. So the first thing you want to do, if you haven't already, and I'm going to spend just a few seconds on this one because this is a whole other class that I teach. In fact, I'll go into a lot more detail this afternoon when I teach Command Basic trainings. But that's getting your marketing profile squared away, because your marketing profile is kind of like your settings and your profile within Command that feeds all these different things, including your website. So to get there, you just want to click on your name in Command and then go to settings. And this is where it gets a little bit goofy. To get to your marketing profile, it's actually on the left-hand side, hidden underneath this, this bucket that says Connect Settings. So you just want to click on Connect Settings, Marketing Profile. And then you just want to update all of your information here. So some of the key things is make sure that your picture is your picture, your team logo is your team logo. Now, what I would highly recommend is, if you do not have a team logo, or if you don't have your own personal brand, leave this blank. Do not put your Market Center logo in here. There's a different place to put that. If you put your Market Center logo in here, it gets a little bit weird, and it's pretty much impossible to delete. And then you just want to go through and make sure that your information is correct. You want to put as much info that you have in here. But the key things that you want to make sure you pay attention to, obviously your name, your team, your title, and your credentials, but you have to have a bio in here. Because when you create your Keller Williams websites, this will essentially feed the About Me page on your website. So you want to make sure you have something in here. If you don't like writing about yourself, at the very least today, I'd put something in here that says licensed real estate professional at Keller Williams Chattahoochee North, or whatever your Market Center is. Just get something in there until you come back and write a more detailed bio. And if you don't like writing about yourself, just go ahead and rip off and duplicate. Do a little bit of R&D. Just go ahead and grab somebody else's, trade their information out for yours. That's what I did with mine. I still have a $100 challenge that if anybody can tell me the Keller Williams agent that I ripped off and duplicated from, I'll give you $100. If you can find out of the pool of 180,000 agents who I R&D'd, I'll give you that challenge. Another little tip for your website is just make sure that when you put your telephone numbers in, you do it without special characters. So make sure you get rid of the parentheses, no hyphens, anything like that, just the 10 digits for your cell phone number. And then obviously this here is where you put in your Market Center logo. So this is where you'd want to put in that logo, not up above where we have the team logo. Okay. And then the last thing to make sure that your website's going to work, to make sure that your branding actually shows up, you have to have a legal footer in here. Now, what I'd recommend doing is saying that each office is independently owned and operated. That's the franchise statement that we all need within Keller Williams. And based on Melba Franklin's advice, she also, from a local compliance standpoint, make sure that you put your office name and telephone number in here as well, so you're not getting in trouble with the local MLS and getting turned in for that. And then again, from here, you'd fill the rest of this information. We click save, but that's your marketing profile in a very quick nutshell. And then once you have that squared away, click on this bubble over on the right-hand side that says use my information to brand my site. Now do your details first, save it, and then click this bubble. If you do this bubble first, it gets a little bit weird, I've noticed. So you don't want to mess around with that. Just put your information in, click save, and then turn this on. And then you should have no problems as long as you kind of follow those very quick instructions on your marketing profile. Any questions on that real quick?
Hi,
Again,
Sam. This is Michael. I got a quick
Hey, Michael.
question.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. I've been working on this over the weekend, and I'm basically like, I should say, I'm an A rainmaker to my wife and I's team. So I put in this profile down on the bottom where I put in my first name and my last name, and yeah, it eventually loads onto the dot or the the .kw page, but on the far right it says my name and underneath our team name. Is there any way I can not have my name show up there on the actual website itself? Because it kind of I'm just trying to have it just my wife and I mentioned.
So you'd rather have just some clarity. You'd rather have your team name instead of your name, or vice
Yeah,
versa?
yeah, I think so. As for the landing page, yes.
Okay. So you have to get creative with it. What you'd probably want to do is delete where it says the team right here. Get rid of that, and then just change your first and last name to your team name. So I'd put I have a fake team, but it'd be like
Smith team or something.
Yeah, the Sam Jackson team. Yeah.
But doesn't that goof up just the actual future neat correspondence that you can do with designs and other neat things, though, down the road with campaigns?
You can edit that later. That really won't mess up a whole lot. You have to play with it. I would test it and kind of figure out what's going to be the best approach.
Okay.
What I'm typically recommending is just leave your name in there because it's pretty subtle. But if you want to swap out your headshot for your team logo, then
Yeah.
so like instead of having your picture here, I would put your team logo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you can play with this. You can manipulate it a lot. It's just kind of, yeah, you kind of have to really find that sweet spot of like, okay, what's the desired look I'm going after, and messing around with these fields a little bit. And it's a little bit trial and error depending on what you're doing.
Yeah.
The good news is that like the main thing is your website. When it comes to designs, you always get the chance to like override and edit them. You just gonna have to play around with it a little bit.
Okay, then. All right.
Hey, Sam, Craig Schultz, real quick.
Hey, Craig.
At the bottom of there, we've got a section for Facebook pixel ads and Google Analytics.
Yeah.
Can we get a class on that at some point in time to figure out how to incorporate that? Because I would assume that's going to be very pertinent information based on running stuff.
Yeah, that can maybe something I can do a quick video on. I'm not sure that I will even need a full 30 minutes on it, but for sure. Yeah, if you have a Facebook pixel or a Google Analytics, we can grab them. My understanding right now is it doesn't do a whole lot for us right now. However, yeah, like most things in Command, it's based on the future benefits. So absolutely, we'll get that integrated. I'll probably just do a private video for you.
Okay.
It's really funny is I would say that the majority of agents do not have a pixel or Google Analytics code. So the few that do, that they'll get a lot of value there. Perfect.
Hey, Sam, will you make it so that others can get to the video on your YouTube channel?
Yeah, that's where I'll post it.
Thank you.
Hi, Pam.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, cool. So once you're done with your marketing profile, we want to save this. And now the goal here is that I have a website that at least should be good enough to get launched. We shouldn't have any bugs with the feed and kind of what we're presenting. But now we want to customize it. We want to elevate it to the next level. So if you want to take a look at your website, what you want to do is click on this icon on the bottom left. It's the last active tool here called Consumer. Now, when you click on Consumer, this is really made up of 3 separate tools. And unfortunately, the first one we land on is landing pages. We were very, very heavy into using custom landing pages before we got our new Keller Williams websites back in September. So that's why you see like the majority of mine are like really from the end of last year. For the most part, we're using our new website as landing pages now. But if you don't see a ton of templates here, don't worry about it. These are because I've been working them for a long time. Yours probably should be blank or close to. But what we're really interested in doing is clicking on this middle tab, which says Agent Site Pages. So you want to go here. And this is where we can start building out and customizing our new Keller Williams websites. Now, a little bit of a trick here, and we have a good bit of people in the room. This happens sometimes. For the most part, you can see this tab at the top that says see your configured agent site here. And I can take a look at my website. And then if I need to make a change or edit, I can click on this button over in the far right that says configure your site. Now, there's probably at least one person in this room that doesn't have this banner. For whatever reason, that does disappear sometimes. Do not fret, do not worry. If you just scroll all the way down, on the bottom left, there is the same button that says configure your site. So for whatever reason you log in here and you don't have this green banner, don't worry. If you just scroll down, you'll see the same button that says configure your site. Okay. Now, if you are logging into Command right now and you're seeing basically nothing here, if you have a blank Excel sheet or a blank rows, come to my class today at 3 o'clock. We're going to go into setting up your website in a little bit more detail. I'm going to skip ahead to the promised content today, which is editing the actual hero images on the website and getting that customized. But just know that you're going to want to come in here and click on the configure site button, and you can start playing around with it. Always pick the top option. You want to use your @KW agent site, and then click on get started. And then basically we're just going to walk through the guide. You're going to go through, and this is why I started with the marketing profile. When we're building out our sites, you want to make sure that your subdomain is available. Now, what I highly recommend, especially if you have a pretty unique name, try to go after your first name. See if like sam.kw is available. I know it's not, but if I click on the claim domain button, I'm going to get rejected. But I had this work for one person. Her name was Vivian. Isn't that super common of a first name? She was able to nab Vivian@kw.com. I thought that was pretty cool. But for most of you, you're probably going to have to do your first and last name. Makes it easier. And then after you claim your subdomain, the next thing you have to do is complete your marketing profile, which we already did and kind of discussed real quick. So if there's an opportunity for you to kind of to adjust some things, you can do that here. And then Michael, I know the concern is like whenever you manipulate your marketing profile, that will also manipulate your website. The cool thing is like you can do your marketing profile one way, and then right here on this page that I'm on right now, this is my chance to override that specifically for just my website, not the rest of my marketing profile. So if I were to come in here and change my name again, this will only impact my website, not everything else.
Okay, so this is under section number 1.
Yep, marketing profile.
Okay, I'll check that out.
Yep, and it feeds one way. So your marketing profile, if you complete it in your marketing profile, it feeds the website. However, if I make a change here, it does not impact my main marketing profile. So this is a one-way edit. Okay?
Got it. Thank you. Huh.
Cool. And then you just want to go through and just make sure your information is correct. Fill out the required fields. Go through here. Kind of skip around. I'm zipping through this because this should be good for everyone. Scroll on down and click. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Click Save and Continue. And then on page number 2, which is Style and Theme, this is really where we get into customizing your websites. So right now, you have 2 choices, which are the KW Red theme and the KW Dark theme. I'll be honest with you, it makes absolutely zero difference right now. This does not do anything to your websites, whether you choose red or dark. You can see as I click this, this Keller Williams logo over here changes. The funny thing though is that this doesn't actually exist in real life. This will be replaced with your Market Center logo. So it doesn't matter if you click red or dark, it makes zero impact on your website. Just kind of funny it's there. Now, the way this works, the way this whole guide works is that I can see a preview of my website over here on the left-hand side. And then over here on the right is where I edit. Now this can be a little bit tricky, especially like if you're on a laptop and you don't have like an actual physical mouse. If you're trying to use a touchpad, both sides of the scroll. So the left side scrolls and the right side scrolls. So if you do not have a mouse, you may have to kind of click inside this white space and then use your arrow keys on your keyboard to kind of move up and down. It's just a little bit tricky if you're not used to this look and feel. But you want to do is actually kind of go through this right side and make some edits. So this is defaulted to say find your dream home. So this is something that you can do to put a personal touch on your homepage. So if I wanted to say something like Zillow blows, oops, if I could spell, I can do that. Now, don't get yourself in trouble. Like, obviously, we don't want to do that. You could use the text like find your dream home or something else. I can guarantee you that they probably spent a lot of time in the boardrooms at Keller Williams International figuring out what to put here. That's why we have find your dream home. But if you want to customize it with like your brand and your slogan, feel free to do that. You can also, if you're a fan of white space, which I personally am, I can just delete this out. Our consumers are smart enough that I don't need to put anything here. I can just put the big search bar there. I can just put search. Totally up to you. I'm going to keep with the white space today. But once you have your homepage set up, or your text set up, keep scrolling. And this is our opportunity to swap out what we call hero images. So hero images are these big photos that are in the background. They kind of cycle through in a little bit of like a slideshow. They're not super, super fast. We don't have the ability to change the speed of them. However, this is our opportunity to really customize what looks like a templated website for 180,000 agents and make it our own. So what I'd highly recommend doing is coming in here. And I don't think I have it already deleted, but you should have 5 images in here. And the very, very bottom one, if you delete it, it's a couple, I think it's kind of like a hipster with a big beard sitting on a stoop in what is very clearly San Francisco. I would probably at least come down on yours and click the delete button. That's gonna be the last image. Otherwise, though, I would say the rest of the default ones that we have look like some part of Atlanta to some degree. You may have some like outer suburban parts. Or maybe even like a rural one here that almost looks swampy with this one, but you can delete these images and swap them out. Now we are maxed at a total of 5. You can only cycle 5 images. So in order to upload a new one, you have to delete one first. So if I want to get rid of this one here, I'd have to click this delete button, and then I can come up and upload. And like it says here, I have a maximum of 5, and it recommends that we do a size of 1200 by 1200. Now, for most of you, I would say just go ahead and delete the one of San Francisco. Go ahead and click Save and Continue. This will walk you through the rest of your website. But I'm going to show you some different places that you can get some inspiration to do these. So I don't need to continue. I'm just going to go ahead and click X. I don't need to go through the rest of this guide. And you can do the same thing too, just by deleting those out. Let me show you a few examples. Is there anyone in the room that hasn't touched theirs yet? I want to show you what the default ones look like.
I haven't.
I have
Okay.
it.
Okay, just go ahead and tell me what your website is. Like, what's the URL?
I don't have one. I'm new. I'm just
Okay.
getting started.
I'm Diane Kelly at .kw.com.
Thank you, Diane. Diane E or just Diane? Diane Kelly.
Just Diane Kelly.
Okay. Oops, I did email.
Look at all of them damn Diane Kellys.
Hey, Diane, you're not going to get sympathy from me. I'm Google proof with Sam Jackson.
Yeah, that's true. Well, there is a Diane Kelly that's a porn star.
Oh, wow.
A lot of published professors.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, let's go with that route. I would use that example. So I'm on
Like,
Diane's
how do you
website.
Google yourself?
Yeah. So I'm on Diane's website. This is the image that I recommend deleting. This is the very last one that you'll all will have. It's the couple on the stoop. That's, like I said, it's San Francisco for sure. The rest of these you can argue are possibly somewhere in Atlanta. I don't really love this image. That's one I want to get rid of and replace today. But you can see that if I sit on this homepage long enough, they just kind of cycle through. Now the goal here is that you want to customize.
Can you go ahead and delete that San Francisco one?
Well, I can't because I'm not logged in as you.
Oh, you're not? Oh, okay.
Nope. I'm just on your page. So the goal here is you want to swap these out. And I want to show you a really cool example of an agent who I think really did this well. Her name is Christy Key. She is out of the North Atlanta office. Christy Key has her own really her brand. She has this really deep royal blue. It's kind of like her color tone that she uses consistently in her marketing. You can kind of see it in her logo here. It gets a little bit faded on the website. But she swapped out all 5 of those images, and she ties in that royal blue with each of her photos, except for this one. This is one of her listings, I think. But you'll see little elements of her brand kind of throughout here. Like this big blue door is consistent with her branding. Kind of fits with like her logo too, though it has this like skeleton key. And then very subtly, might be hard to see on the screen today, but the paint in these bookshelves or the shelving here is also that same blue color. So this is a very subtle way that you can swap out all those images, still make it all about real estate without like throwing up your branding, and still tying in those elements through here. So this is one of the best examples I've seen of someone who swapped these out, who's taken essentially a template that all of us have and really made it look like their own. Now, I'm going to show you some different resources so that you don't have to spend a bunch of money to go buy stock photos online. If we go back into Command, we're going to jump into Designs. So in Command, underneath the Designs tool, which is this one here, it looks like an iPad with a stylus. You want to click on the plus sign in the bottom right-hand corner. So we're going to create a new one. So click on the plus sign. And this doesn't make the most sense, but we're going to click on social. I really just wish this said online instead of social, but we're looking to update our websites. You're going to click on the social box here and then click next. This will take us to the design templates that we have available to us in Command. Give this a second to load. And this is another place where it doesn't make a ton of sense to me. But if I want to look specifically for my website and the ability to swap out those hero images, I want to click underneath the lead generation box on the left-hand side, and then my website. So lead generation, and then my website. And then one more step, I want to click on the far right where it says Site Hero Images. So the other ones are for promoting your website. So like this would be like if I wanted to go post on LinkedIn and promote my website. But if I actually want to swap out those hero images with the right sizes, I have 6 designs here that I could use that are already fit for my website. So one of the things that I can do is just take this collage right here, click on use. And then this is formatted for my website. So the really cool thing that you can do here is, let's just say that I don't really like this image of this house right here. I could swap that out for one of my listings, or maybe I don't like the stock imagery of the actors, the actresses, and these ones, I can swap those out. So a really cool thing that you can do is actually just pull up one of your listings by clicking on this KWLS tab. Diane, do you have a listing right now? Anyone have a listing? Anybody have a luxury listing?
Sorry, I muted myself. Yes, I've got one.
Okay, what's your listing?
Well, it doesn't have great photos because it's a condo. 955 Juniper.
955 Juniper.
I think that's the address.
Is it in Atlanta?
Yep.
Okay. I'm waiting for those to load. 955. There are a lot of these.
Yeah, because they're condos.
Okay. All right. Is it this
there
one
you
right
go.
here? Okay. So when I click
That's
on
not.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Is that not it? Which one's your listing?
I don't. It's unit 11. It's 1115.
15. Okay. Holy smokes.
I know.
Okay. I'm not going to spend time sifting through here. I'm just going to grab this one real quick, but let's just pretend this is Diane's or any of your listings really.
Yeah.
But if you have a nice luxury listing, even if it's a past one, you can kind of open them up. But what I wanted to do here is just grab one of the, this might be a good one to use. I can grab this photo right here. I'm left clicking it and I'm dragging it, and it can replace any of these images. So once I see the location that I want to be in, I just let go, and that's now the image. Now let's just say, oh man, that was silly. I don't want the gym. Let me grab something else that actually belongs to the suite. I could just replace it by clicking and dragging. Now I would do this with like probably the exterior of one of your nicer ones. A condo is probably not the best example of that. But you can swap those images out. Now let's just say that you don't have a listing and you just want to change out the stock photos. When I come back up to the images tab up here, this has like my library, this is all my headshots, but there's a second tab here that says company. When you click on this one, we have a ton of stock photography that's already in place for you. So what's really nice is that Keller Williams actually just kind of reorganized this. They put these in folders. So now I can click on house types and get all those exteriors, and I can swap them out just by clicking and dragging. And you're free to use these. You have the rights to use them as Keller Williams agent. So you can kind of get your look and feel and your branding from here versus going out and spending money on photography.
Hey,
I can
Sam.
minimize this.
Have a good
Diane.
day.
Hey, Sam.
Yeah.
You know, you took this like montage or whatever you call this photo that has a bunch of photos in it. If you had taken one of the ones that was just a photo, you can do the same thing. You just replace the one, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can just take one with the giant. Yeah, I just want to show you how easy it is to swap those out.
Okay.
Yeah, on my website, it figures it's not the first image, but one of the next images is just one large one, which I tend to like a little bit better. Yeah. So you get something like this. It's just one large stock photo. This is one of the default ones. You don't have to swap this one out. But yeah, if you take a look at these, there are a ton of different, like if I want to get the lifestyle active home, these are more of the people images that I can swap them out.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. And again, you could just use like one of these as your large image for your website. So that's kind of the best way to definitely put your own touch and feel on your website versus being like every other real estate agent at KW. Because if they haven't touched this, all of them are going to have this image right now, and you don't want that. So definitely take the, I don't know, 10 minutes to go through and swap those out and replace them. But once you have those InDesigns ready to go, you just click the download button. And then I'd go back through that guide and swap one out for the one I created. Cool. Well, it's 9 o'clock, so I don't want to take up anyone else's time. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, but if you guys have any questions, please let me know. We can jump into that right now.
How come I couldn't get on? I wanted to get on my phone this morning so I would have my computer to go follow along on. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't get on the Zoom with my phone. What was going on?
Not sure. Which way did you try to access?
I clicked on Jennifer's email this morning.
Okay. Yeah, I think the link that North Atlanta has for the email is the wrong link. So I gotta reach out to Jennifer and get that corrected.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Sam, I had a hard time coming on because I didn't know where the link was. I went to the newsletter and all it had was your schedule, not the link. So is the only place you post the link on Facebook now?
Yeah, I posted on Facebook. I always do it right before my classes. That way there's no discrepancy on like which link works. Okay. That's the one I'm pulling directly from Zoom as I teach.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. And I have office hours today at 12 to 1 with the same one. Go ahead.
Like right now, your